Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about the cephalosporins. These cephalosporins drugs are derived from Cephalosporinium acrimonium. They are derived from Cephalosporinium acrimonium. So we have 5 generations of cephalosporin. So if you see the generations, we have 5 generations of cephalosporin: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These cephalosporins are in the actually first generation of cephalosporins are mainly gram positive. Slowly, as we increase the generations to fifth generation, these fifth generation cephalosporins also starts acting on gram negative bacteria. Then if we see sensitivity to beta lactamases, only the from second to fifth generation these are resistant to beta lactamase degradation, whereas first generation is sensitive to beta lactamase degradation. Then first generation is active against gram positive agents, whereas second, third, fourth and fifth generations are active against gram positive, gram negative and anaerobes. Now first to fourth generations have no MRSA activity, whereas fifth generations are active against MRSA. Now first we have the first generation cephalosporins. First generation cephalosporins are mainly sensitive to beta lactamase degradation. They are mainly for gram positive. So these include, we have cefalexin, cefadroxil, and cefadroxil, cephradin and cephaloridin. We have cephradin and cephaloridin, and we also have cefazolin. Cefazolin is drug of choice for surgical prophylaxis and it has better tissue penetration. Then cefalexin and cefadroxil are peroral, whereas cephradin and cephaloridin, both these and also cefazolin are injectable first generation agents. So first generation peroral are cefalexin and cefadroxil, injectables are cephradin, cephaloridin and cefazolin. Then we have second generation agents. These are resistant to beta lactamase degradation except for cefaclor. These are also resistant to beta lactamase except cefaclor. So drugs are cefaclor, cefuroxime acetyl, cefprozil. Then we also have cefotetan, cefumandol and also cefoxitin. So cefotetan, cefumandol or cefoxitin are injectables. Cefumandol is used in the treatment of STDs, and this cefotetan, cefumandol and cefoxitin, these are used in the treatment of lower abdominal infections and also gynecological infections. Then these second generation agents are both have action against both gram positive cocci and gram negative bacilli. Then we have third generation agents. So these third generation agents are mainly resistant to beta lactamase degradation. They are mainly resistant to beta lactamase degradation. These include gram negative cocci, gram negative bacilli, anaerobes, which are more commonly than gram positives. Then these drugs include cefixime, cefpodoxime, ceftibuten, cefdinir and ceftolozane. So if you see, these are oral drugs. These also include injectables like cefoperazone, ceftriaxone, ceftriaxone, ceftazidime and cefotaxime. So all these are injectables which are third generation. So if you see the important points, these all can cross the blood-brain barrier. So ceftriaxone has maximum half-life, and these drugs, third generation drugs, are preferred in Neisseria gonorrhea, Haemophilus influenza, Klebsiella and also in Proteus. They are effective for Pseudomonas. if there is Pseudomonas meningitis. So one more thing, ceftazidime is effective for Pseudomonas. So this is actually the drug of choice for Pseudomonas. Cefoperazone is effective for Pseudomonas. The drug of choice for Pseudomonas is ceftazidime, which you should remember. Then we have fourth generation cephalosporins. These fourth generation cephalosporins include cefepime and cefepirone. So all these are also effective against Pseudomonas. And this cefepime and cefepirone, one more important thing, if these third generation cephalosporins, if there is Pseudomonas meningitis, as I have already said, the drug of choice for Pseudomonas is ceftazidime. But for Pseudomonas meningitis, we will combine this ceftazidime with aminoglycoside and then we will give it to the patient. Right? Next we have about the cephalosporins which are secreted in the bile. Cephalosporins which are secreted in the bile include ceftriaxone, cefoperazone. Ceftriaxone and cefoperazone are secreted in the bile. These actually are precipitated in the bile and they cause pseudocholelithiasis or biliary sludge syndrome. They cause pseudocholelithiasis and biliary sludge syndrome, and these drugs are actually, they are precipitated in bile, so they are excreted through bile. Ceftriaxone and cefoperazone are excreted through bile, so they are actually safe in renal failure because they do not have any action on the kidneys, so they are safer in renal failure. Then ceftriaxone is actually the drug of choice in meningitis, gonorrhea, chancroid, community acquired pneumonia and typhoid. Then we have cephalosporins causing disulfiram reaction include we have cefotetan, cefoperazone, which is a third generation cephalosporin, cefomandol and also moxalactam. Cefotetan, cefoperazone, cefomandol and moxalactam, these are the cephalosporins causing disulfiram reaction. Cefotetan and cefomandol are second generation, cefoperazone is third generation. Then one more important thing, these drugs cefotetan, cefoperazole, cefomandol and moxalactam are also associated with hypoprothrombemia, and thus they increase the bleeding risk in the patients, and as a result these drugs also cause associated with hypoprothrombemia because they are secondary to killing vitamin K producing organisms. So these drugs will also kill vitamin K producing organisms. So when vitamin K is decreased in our body, so obviously you will see that these prothrombin levels will also get decreased, resulting in hypoprothrombemia, causing bleeding risk. Then these drugs are also contraindicated in alcohol because, and also these are also contraindicated in patients with bleeding risk. This is contraindicated in alcohol due to disulfiram reactions. Then if you see, one more important thing is about the fourth generation cephalosporins. These fourth generation cephalosporins are not for gram positive and anaerobes, and the half-life of these fourth generation cephalosporins is 2 hours. Now we have fifth generation cephalosporins, which include ceftaroline and ceftibiprole. Ceftaroline and ceftibiprole are fifth generation cephalosporins. These are the only cephalosporins which are effective for MRSA. So if you see the side effects of these cephalosporins, which is also very important. Now, but before that, this cefuroxime acetyl is present in higher concentration in CSF. whereas third generation cephalosporins will also penetrate blood-brain barrier except true drugs. Cefoperazone and cefixime will not penetrate blood-brain barrier. Then the ceftazidime, here the drug of choice, ceftazidime is drug of choice for melioidosis, whereas ceftriaxone has maximum activity against bacteroids. Ceftriaxone has maximum activity against bacteroids. These are some important points which I have got in the middle, so I have shared them. And if you see this cefotaxime is metabolized to des-acetyl cefotaxime, and this des-acetyl cefotaxime is the active compound which is very important and which causes action of cephalosporins. Now if we see the side effects of cephalosporins mainly include hypersensitivity reaction, drugs with methyl tetrazole group like cefomandol, cefoperazone, moxalactams and cefotetan. All these will cause hypoprothrombinemia and disulfiram reaction. Then the drug ceftazidime can cause neutropenia. So these are the important points about cephalosporins. Thank you for watching.